Are you inconsistent with your aim? Do you feel like you always get insta-headshotted? Chances are your movement is to blame. Hey, this is Sero, your favorite Radiant. And in this guide, I'll be explaining the different aspects of movement and how to improve on each one. Good movement can make it not only easier to get kills, but make it harder for the enemies to kill you. The biggest thing that you should focus on is not holding W while peeking. If you enter a bomb site like this, then that means you have a lot to improve upon. Anytime you peek an angle, you should only be using A and D. You will move the fastest if you run parallel to their screen. This means pressing A or D. Adding W to the mix will make you a lot easier to track and kill. Full holding A or D is still not the best way to peek. The best way is to do many small peeks clearing one angle at a time. Full running into the open will make it hard for you to react to any enemies as they can be in so many off angles. You don't only want to stop when you see somebody. Every angle should be cleared as if you know there's somebody's there. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the difference between the peaks. To improve at doing this, I suggest going into a custom game by yourself and practicing clearing every common angle while using only just A and D. The goal is to peek each angle as if you're expecting somebody to be there. Doing this in deathmatch can also help a lot with your movement. This is the part where many people will ask about counter-strafing. Counter-strafing is the act of hitting the opposite movement key to come to a stop. People say this is supposedly faster than letting go of the key. However, the difference is so minimal that it doesn't matter which version you actually do. And I know all the little Timmies are saying, "But Sero, pro guides is telling me that counter-strafing will make me go pro." Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but using counter-strafing to stop your movement is actually unnecessary. Unlike Valorant, Counter-Strike has very fast movement mechanics. In CSGO, counter-strafing is a must. But in Valorant, it is only a nuance to your gameplay. This is why many CSGO players who transition to Valorant are still in the mindset of counter-strafing. However, this doesn't mean that counter-strafing in Valorant is completely useless. Counter-strafing can be used to strafe while still landing accurate shots. Constantly switching between holding A and D will make you a moving target. However, you will still be able to get a shot off in the time you're switching directions. You can practice this in a range by firing off a few bullets on the wall between each strafe. Despite this knowledge, many players still tend to overuse crouching. When you crouch, you are a sitting duck and can be easily killed by somebody who is strafing. Once you crouch, you are committed to the fight and can no longer get away. On the other hand, if you're standing, you can easily strafe back into cover if you miss a few bullets. Crouching isn't entirely bad, however, as it will make your spray easier to control. So now a common question arises. When should I not crouch? The three main times where crouching will put you in a huge disadvantage is either if you're fighting two or more enemies, when you're fighting someone who is strafing, or if you're holding an angle. Crouching in these three scenarios will likely result in you getting insta-headshotted, as you are a sitting duck who can't strafe back into cover. These are the aspects of movement that are crucial in gunfights. However, movement isn't only limited to these mechanics. Good movement can provide you and your team with valuable info, as well as quick movement around the map catching enemies off guard. Some newer players can be confused on how exactly movement can give you info. The whole idea is to peek an angle without getting shot, allowing you to see if there are enemies there.
There's nothing you can do. Literally nothing.
There are three main ways to do this. I'll explain these in order from easiest to most advanced. The easiest way to gather info with little risk is doing a jiggle peek. When you jiggle peek, you should take out your knife as it will make your movement the fastest. Then you want to strafe out and back into cover. This will give you a quick glance to see if there's enemies posted on the angle. Make sure you go out as little as possible to not expose your entire body. Moving on to jump spotting. Jump spotting is even easier than jiggle peeking and has less risk as well. Here are some of the best jump spots that will give you good information with little risk. Jump spotting showers, A short, and hookah will give you so much info, and according to Sabrosa, it will be impossible to hit.
Hello there. Hello there.
It's impossible to hit. It's impossible to hit.
Here are some good spots on other maps. Ascent clearing main if anybody is opping, over the green boxes, CT spawn to mid, over default haven, over default B garage box, peeking market, and the box on icebox B. These jump spots are really good for gathering info and baiting operator shots. The only problem with the jump spotting is that there's only several jump spots per map. And because you can't always rely on jump spotting, there's the third and final method of gathering info with movement, and that is jump peeking. Jump peeking is an alternate version of jump spotting, but can be done anywhere in the map. To jump peek, you need to run out while jumping, and right as you jump, pull yourself back with the opposite movement keys. This will take some practice to get down perfectly. The goal is to get info while being very hard to kill. This can also bait operator shots. Good movement can help to get around the map a lot quicker, which will give you a big advantage. Here, I recommend binding jump to scroll wheel. For all means, you can keep spacebar, but adding scroll wheel will make it a lot easier to b-hop consistently. I do most of my jumps with scroll wheel and only use spacebar to glide with jet. As you do not move any faster, b-hopping is mostly to make the game more fun, but it can help in some situations. For example, on Garage Haven, you can use b-hopping to get up the steps a lot quicker. Same thing with mid window. The biggest thing that you gain while b-hopping is that you learn how to air strafe. Air strafing can be a huge factor when learning to make skill jumps. I would suggest going into a custom game and practicing making jumps that could give you an advantage. Icebox has many great spots you can practice on. Getting around these spots can be a great benefit. Here are some other jumps you can practice. Try to see what kind of jumps you can make while practicing strafe jumps and hopping. Another really important jump you should try to get down is the one on mid-split. You can jump on top of this box without any abilities. To make these jumps, you should crouch jump and release crouch once you hit the object. The last thing I want to mention is silent B-hops. If you hold shift while you B-hop up a ramp, your jumps will be completely silenced. This is useful for mostly split and bind, but can be seen on almost any map. If you follow what I said and go into a custom game and practice your movement, it isn't really a lot. You can do it once or twice a week and you should notice improvements. With all that considered, learning all the kill-based movement mechanics, peeking mechanics, as well as agility around the map can bring your gameplay to a new level. You will notice how you're getting killed a lot less and land a lot more shots. The game will also be more fun in general if you know how to do some of these jumps and know how to B-hop. With that being said, make sure to subscribe as it helps me out a ton. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been supporting my channel recently. That's it for today, guys. Peace.